In a bombshell interview with Director Kash Patel of the FBI and Deputy Director Dan Bonaccino, Fox News revealed just how much of a security risk Canada poses to the United States of America. Welcome to my channel, y'all. I hope you're having a great day. Now, before we get into this, I'd like to thank all of my subscribers for subscribing and hitting that bell notification. And I'd like to encourage everybody who is watching this who isn't subscribed to do the same. Now, let's get into this. During an interview I watched today on Fox's Monday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo, which, of course, I'm probably pronouncing wrong, Deputy Director Dan Bonaccino and Director Kash Patel of the FBI revealed just how big of a threat that Canada and the Canadian border poses to the security of the United States of America. Let's go to that interview and then we'll talk about it.
In the first 2-3 months that we've been in the seat under Donald Trump's administration, he has sealed the border. He has stopped border crossings. So where's all the fentanyl coming from still? Where's the trafficking coming from still? Where are all the narco traffickers going to keep bringing this stuff into the country? The northern border. Our adversaries have partnered up with the CCP and others, Russia, Iran, on a variety of different criminal enterprises, and they're going and they're sailing around to Vancouver and coming in by air. And the sheer tyranny of distance of the northern border and the lack of cooperation from federal authorities in prior administrations to actually firm up that northern border is what's causing a continuation of violent crime. Now, we're focused on it. And we're calling our state and local law enforcement partners up there. But you know who has to get to step in is Canada. Because they're making it up there and shipping it down here. And I don't care about getting into this debate about making someone the 51st state or not. But they are our partner in the north. And say what you want about Mexico, but they helped us seal the southern border.
Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to say that these two people are just Trump administration appointees and basically stooges for the Trump administration, because I know that so many people in Canada here just have Trump derangement syndrome and they don't want to listen to anything. But I actually believe that these two people are honest, intelligent, and dedicated law enforcement personnel. So let's look at the facts here. Consider the havoc wreakers in 2001. Well, they entered the United States from Canada, but they weren't the only ones. Consider the father and son from Toronto who were planning on doing some pretty nasty things in Toronto, but they were stopped by Canadian police. And then there was the guy who entered from Pakistan into Canada who was planning to do some pretty nasty things in New York City, and he was stopped by Canadian police. But it wasn't because of stellar law enforcement by Canadian police. Actually, not at all. The two people in Toronto, they were caught because of intelligence that we received from the French intelligence service. And the guy trying to enter the United States from Canada to wreak havoc in New York, well, we received that intelligence from the FBI. Our law enforcement has been pretty pathetic in stopping these crimes. And these aren't isolated incidences either. Let's have a listen to what Kash Patel has to say about that.
And say what you want about Mexico, but they helped us seal the southern border. The facts speak for themselves. The border that's open, I'll give you a statistic that I gave to Congress that nobody was paying attention to. Over 300 known or suspected terrorists crossed into this country last year illegally. Known or suspected terrorists, not illegals. Not just illegals, known or suspected terrorists. 85% of them came in through the northern border. Wow. This year, 100 known or suspected terrorists have crossed into this country illegally. 64 south and north.
Remember a few months ago when Trudeau claimed that less than 1% of the people entering the United States was coming from Canada? Well, it was BS then, and it's even more BS now, since there's probably been an uptick in the amount of going south into the United States from Canada since Mexico has done their part in closing the southern border. But of course, the Liberals aren't going to tell you that. They're just going to talk about statistics concerning the amount of that's been intercepted. Well, intercepted doesn't correlate as to what actually got through, because we don't really know how much is getting through. We know that a lot is getting through, but we don't know how much. And since the lack of enforcement has created this problem, just to say that there's less going south than there is going north from the Mexican border, well, that really doesn't make any sense. And since Carney's been in, he's continued to play down the problem, hasn't he? So is anything going to be done? Well, I don't suspect anything will. And we're not even talking about the illegal guns that are coming north into Canada. No, we're not talking about those at all. Of course, the Liberals, they don't truly care about that. All they truly care about is harassing law-abiding gun owners, because that's easier. They can focus on the law-abiding citizens. They can make them into the scapegoat for all of their problems concerning our porous border. And it's all a distraction, really, isn't it? And that's what the Liberals do. They distract from their failures by attacking people who comply with the laws. So they can say, give us your guns, comply with the laws, and all of us will comply because that's what we do. We're law-abiding citizens. We comply with the law even if we don't agree with it, even if we know that the government is itself being unlawful in their actions. We know that the Liberals are criminals. They proved that over the last 10 years, and they're continuing to be criminals by doing this. And of course, Kash Patel brought up the 51st state rhetoric, which we all know was a joke from Trump. But consider this. According to some sources, as many as 45% of Albertans are now supporting separating from Canada. That's incredible. Now, I don't know how accurate those numbers are, but just think about that. There's not been a sustained campaign or a leader to actually do this, but a whole lot of Albertans are thinking about separating from Canada. Do you think that if we continue to be a security threat to the United States, that number won't grow? That Canadians, especially Albertans and other Western Canadians, won't see it as a positive to actually join the United States to solve a lot of these problems? Personally, I think that continuing to have an insecure border not only threatens the United States, but actually threatens the unity of Canada. But of course, that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you think. Put your comments down below. And while you're at it, please like this video, share with your friends and on social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification so you never miss another video. Also, please join me on Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific time for my live stream, where you're invited to join in on the conversation. And that's on both YouTube and Rumble. Finally, if you wish to get your Canadian firearms license, I teach the required courses. So if you reside on Vancouver Island and you'd like to take a course from me, there are links in the show notes of this video to my website where you can sign up for one. And I am trying to fill up a course for May the 24th and the 25th. So just this week, as a matter of fact. So please, if you'd like to take that course, please follow those links and sign up for it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.